Welcome everybody to this free taster with me, Dr. Khushboo Shah. I am so happy to be here. I'm a Talk to the Entities facilitator. I think expansion infinita is Carla. Are you a Spanish translator? Yay! She made it on time. Woohoo! Okay, cool. Awesome. We've just spoken on WhatsApp, so I'm happy that you made it just on time. Welcome, everyone. So, just as a reminder, this taster is being translated to Turkish, to Estonian, and to Spanish. Oh, what else is possible? Now, the best way, even if this is a translator, the best way any call and access works is if you ask me questions. This is going to be a quick 20 to 30-minute free taster on money and entities, because money and entities, according to me, is a slightly more advanced topic in Talk to the Entities because it involves receiving both money and receiving both entities. So money and entities together. Huh. So it's definitely not a small topic and definitely something you have to say yes to. And both money and the topic of entities comes with so much misinformation and confusion and just basic lack of clarity that putting these two topics together, well, oh, if you say yes to it and you start opening up to it consciously, it is such a gift. And for me personally, Talk to the Entities, being a Talk to the Entities facilitator over these many years has been one of the greatest gifts of my life, including receiving money. And I mean money. I don't even mean the wealth of consciousness, which absolutely, I mean money. I've received money from entities. Okay. So where do we begin? Does anyone have any questions? Or else I'm going to start talking and I don't know if it'll be relevant to you. Questions? No questions on money and entities? Why are you here?
Question. Share your stories about the money and entities things that money come to your life. Khushboo.
Thank you, Poppy. Poppy is such a gift herself. Where do I begin? Okay, so first of all, if you are someone who is entity aware, um, if you've not had conscious education, what you've done over years and what you've done over a lifetime is tried your best to shut it out, most of us. Okay, because this is not a reality that we've grown up in where entity inclusion is received as something normal. It should be. It is something that most of us have. And if you're here, it is. It is a capacity most humanoids have. And over lifetimes, it's been shut down, right? So when an entity comes into your space of awareness, and this is true for me as well, right? So whenever an entity came into my space of awareness, growing up watching the movies that I watched, growing up in the culture that I watched, growing up in the family that I grew up in, I learned to shut my awareness of entities out. Okay. Not uh, I wasn't very successful at it, and I hurt myself in the process as well. Okay, now when you try to shut off your entity awareness, you're basically creating these blind spots in your spectrum of awareness. Okay, so you have this massive spectrum of awareness. That's the word I'm going to use for now. And what you end up doing if you're aware of entities is you start creating blind spots, right? Which means what? Which means you've also stopped receiving. It's basically reduced your receiving. And if it's one of your greatest capacities or one of your capacities that you're very, very aware of, imagine how much of those blind spots you're creating and imagine how much of receiving you're actually stopping. So, when I said yes to my entity awareness, which is when I attended my first advanced class with Shannon, and obviously it started with the beginning and foundation, but I think I actually said yes to it after the advanced class, these blind spots that we're creating started melting away, right? So I started receiving more entities, which means I started receiving more awareness, which led to my receiving more money. Because what is money? Or, in fact, what does Gary always say? Is it a money problem? No, it's always a receiving problem. So, saying yes to my entity awareness was one of the biggest doors that I opened to receiving more, which also, therefore, started bringing me money in all sorts of ways. Now, whether that was working with Talk to the Entities or becoming a Talk to the Entities facilitator, or even getting clients, I knew entities were getting them. And then receiving from your ancestors, etc., etc. And so, if you are aware of entities and you've shut it down, will you just say yes today to just opening it up? Now, fair warning, when you do say yes, yes, you're going to be aware of entities. Now, this is where our classes come in, right? So this is where the money and entities class that obviously, I mean, there's a taster here because that's leading to a proper 2.5 hours to 3 hours of money and entities introduction class, right? This is where, what do you do when you become aware of entities? How do you know which ones want to pay you and which one is a demon and which one is good and which one is bad and which one is your teammate and which one is your ancestor? How do you actually know this when you have had no education whatsoever? That's where the tools of Talk to the Entities have come in for me. Over years, I've started developing more trust in my awareness of what entities I am actually working with. Okay, so that's my little introduction. Do you have questions? Does anyone have questions? Carla has expansion infinita. Infinita. Go, Carla. We can't hear. Oh, sorry. You're probably translating me. Yes. I don't know if she's translating me or she's asking me a question. Are you asking me a question? We can't hear you there. Then I can't hear you. No sound. No. Maybe your laptop is muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Fair warning.
Okay.
When you do anything related to
Oh my
entities,
God.
technical
Okay.
problems
So I'm gonna
happen.
disconnect this. Now, can you hear me?
Very clearly.
Hello? Yes, can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
See.
so she has, okay, thank you. So Jackie has a question, and she said that she would like to know about the contribution about money with entities. And she said that she asked, but she didn't receive yet the contribution. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna translate. Give me 1 second, please.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Now.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big question. Okay, and that pretty much sums up what to do. Okay, I asked for contribution, but I didn't get it. First of all, is that really true? Okay, now, is that really true, or did you not receive the contribution because you had points of views of how you are going to receive the contribution? And everything that does not allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, will you please uncreate and destroy at all times, a Godzilla. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shots, boys, poets, creation, species, and beyond. Okay, so let me address this question slightly differently by addressing one of the basic energies of money and entities, or doing this kind of work with entities consciously, is this is not linear. You cannot come from give and take. Okay? Which means you cannot come from a basic sense of lack. So if your sense is that you lack money, therefore you're like asking for it, but your basic point of view is lack. Your basic point of view is lack. So how will you receive? Everything that does not allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive this, will you please uncreate and destroy it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pon pock, all 100 shots, voice, provides creations, species, and beyond. So one of the things with talk to the entities and how we work with entities is you are going to have to start becoming the source. So you cannot make entities the source of your money. So imagine you're running a business. Imagine you're the CEO of a business, a big business. You're the CEO, right? If the CEO has this sense of lack and no possibility, and it's trying to employ people from, oh my God, I suck. I suck so much. I have no money. I am bankrupt, blah, 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 but I want all these employees to make me money. Is that business ever going to work? And what kind of employees are you actually going to get? Are you going to get employees that actually help you build your business, or are you going to get employees that mirror or show you the same point of view that you have that you lack? Do you get what I mean? Okay, thank you. British, yes, you get it, right? So this is the basic energy which needs to change deeply. Okay, which is where all the tools of access, which is where all the tools of talk to the entities come in. You cannot make entities the source of money. You cannot make anything the source of money. You are the source of creating it. And then entities are one of the many resources that you can receive money from. However, remember, you're the CEO of your life. So if you truly desire for anything, including entities, to gift you money, you're going to have to start being the source and not come from lack. You're going to have to start being the gift that you are. That if you don't even know today that you are actually a gift, that's a great starting point. So once you start gifting and being the gift that you truly are, then you can, and then you say yes to entities, then you start opening those doorways where you can actually receive money from entities. Until then, it's like a CEO who is not fit to be a CEO asking for contribution. And this is where you then start inviting all kinds of entities and demons and blah, 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 all these other energies that aren't really going to contribute to you, that are going to pretend to contribute to you, but you're going to keep waiting for the money. So how many lifetimes have you been waiting for the money because you've confused gifting entities from, entities that are not, that feed your lack? So if you truly want money and entities to be your reality and you want to receive money and entities, money from entities, you're going to have to start being the source of your life. Because if you start being the source, then you invite entities that will contribute to you. Just like the CEO who is being the source, being that energy of possibility, being that energy of wealth, and then imagine what kind of employees a CEO who is having that energy invites in. Do they invite lackey? I mean, they could, but they would notice this energy. And then they would totally invite gifted contributive employees that are capable and available for them to show up. The same thing applies if you're asking for money from entities from a place of consciousness and from a place that will actually create a better foundation, a better platform for you from which you can create your life with entities and not with demons or, everything that does not allow you to perceive. No, be receive this. Will you please unclean, destroy at all times, of God's will. Right and wrong, good and bad, pun pop, all 100 shots, boys, poets, creations, bases, and beyonds. And this is the gift that Talk to the Entities and all of Access Consciousness has been for me, is it's not this, it's not like, oh my God, I'm so pathetic, entities come and, give me money. No, we totally ask for money. Hey, entities, could you bring me some clients? Could you bring me you guys? And this is how it works. But I'm being a source, I'm being a gift of something that you're asking for as well, that the entities are asking for as well. And now what this creates is like the snowballing effect of the wealth of consciousness that includes money as well. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do the same thing of lack, or do you actually want to step into being the source? Then money and entities will work for you in ways that you cannot even imagine right now. But you're going to have to say yes to this. I know Poppy's already said it. She's the first one to have paid for the class that we had. It doesn't mean that you all have to come for the class. Oh, but there's an energy there of just saying yes. And you can receive whatever you receive today. And then hopefully that creates something in your world. And you never know what shows up and what you choose after this. But it's going to be your choice to say yes to being the source. Okay? And then money and entities will work for you in ways I cannot even express right now. The true magic in mystery and possibility class and receiving, which is why I started before saying this is slightly an advanced topic, because for money, it's a receiving thing. And in Talk to the Entities, we start with clearing, we start with communication, then we go to receiving, and then we go to cooperation. So money and entities requires you to receive and both cooperate. How can you receive and cooperate? From lack, you can't. And most of us have learned to ask from that space. But the physics of it is you lack. That's your point of view, and your point of view creates your reality. You change that, and everything will shift. And then you have all these magical tools that will give you more access to your awareness. And then you'll start trusting what kind of entities you're actually listening to. Because most of y'all don't even realize that you're actually talking to demons or something that doesn't really have your back, thinking it's something that has your back and is eventually going to give you money. Everything that brought up, and wrong, good and bad, pun pop, all 100 shots, boys, poets, creations, species, and beyond. Oh, cool. I hope this contributed. Does anyone have any other questions? And also notice right now for most of you, for some of you, if you notice the energy flow, you're like relaxed and it's flowing through you. Cool. Acknowledge that. And then everything will change from here on. And if it's not that, don't worry, keep listening to this again and again. And at some point, this will hit, okay? It's not rocket science. If you come from lack, that is exactly what the universe will show you. Whether it's with entities, whether it's with relationships, whether it's with money, whatever. Okay? Because the universe doesn't have a point of view. Absolutely none. If you come from being the source and you shift that, at least you say yes to it. Okay? And then gradually, eventually get to this place that you're more and more of a source, you will notice how much more you'll start receiving and how much more the entities can gift to you and how much there are all these entities waiting behind the door to actually gift you the money. But you are just not willing to be the source because that's the only way you can receive it, whether you know it today or not. Okay? Right and wrong, good and bad, on walk, all 100 shots, boys, poets, creations, species, and beyond. I am new to TTT. I'm interested to learn more. What course would you recommend? Yeah, so there's many things. First of all, if you're interested in money and entities, I have an like a 2 or 3 hour class on money and entities on, can someone remind me, when is it? In April.
16th, 15th.
16th April, and I think it's a good time for most of the world, okay, including America, Europe, India, and Indonesia. We've tried to cover most of it. So you can actually come for that because interestingly, it has no prereqs. Okay, so you can come for one of these specialty intros, or you can also do an intro and beginning class, which is also highly recommended. Okay, we have a few coming up. We have one that is both online and currently live from New Jersey after 16th April at some point. And then we will have one in Turkey later in the second part of the year, I think in July. We will give you all these this information in your email. We'll also send you a link. We're also going to have one in Estonia. So we're going all over the world, and you can actually invite yourselves to come online or come join us in any of these places. And there's many more facilitators, including Shannon, all of the information that you'll find on the Talk to the Entities website. Okay, so you can attend either any of these specialty intros, or you can attend intro plus beginning class, also highly recommended. Cool. So great question. All great questions. Anything else? I think this is good enough for an intro. I hope at least, is being in person or online has the same results? Well, you need to ask yourself that question. Okay, if I choose this online, what would my life be like in the next 5 years? And if I choose this by going in person, wherever we are or wherever it is, what would my life be like in the next 5 years? Which one is more expensive? And then attend that. I've known people who've attended these classes online and it has completely changed their world. And I've also known people who've attended this in person and that's completely changed their world. So please choose what you would like, choose which is lighter, okay? One of the ways to like choose anything is, what would my life be like if I choose this in the next 5 years? What would my life be like in the next 5 years if I don't choose this? And what would my life be like in the next 5 years if I do choose this? And then one of them will be expensive. Choose that. Choose the one that's more expensive. Going back to basics. That which is expensive is actually more true for you. It's actually going to add that energy of expensiveness to your life. That which is more contracting is going to add the energy of contraction to your life. Okay? Expensive is when you're being the source. Contraction is when you're being lackey. Or that choice is going to create more of that. Okay. And thank you, Dipanti. Dipanti's also shared the link to the upcoming Money and Entities class, and we've got a whole bunch of classes coming up in different parts of the world. Oh, what else? And if you'd like to reach out for more information on each one of these, you can, Turkish participants, you can reach out to Duygu. Estonian participants, we're coming up with details very soon, but you can reach out to Minnie. And what else did I say? Where else did I say I'm doing this? New Jersey, yes. And those that are interested in New Jersey, please reach out to Jenny Panagakis, who herself is absolutely brilliant. She herself is an intro TTT facilitator. So I'm so glad. And she's having a little swap party at her house as we do this. Okay, cool. I think we're done. Okay, if you listen to this again and again, it has the main like the sense of what you need to know today. Okay. And from here on, truly choose that which expands you from being the source. Okay. If you're asking from lack, stop, just stop. Okay. You can then use, you can use everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, everything's the opposite of what it appears to be, nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be, or you can use interesting point of view, I have this point of view, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And then all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, and then ask again. Yeah. Cool. Happy exploring being the source, hopefully, most of you, most of us. And thank you so much. We will share the recording soon. Thank you, Namnita and Devrati, for your beautiful hearts. And thank you, Dipanti. And thank you, all of the translators. And thank you, Jenny. And what else is truly possible? And all of you who joined in and who said yes. Thank you, Poppy. Bye.